YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? Gniady in the video, and today I'm going to be going over the best abilities to run at each position in Madden 23 Ultimate Team. We'll be going over the offense, defense, and I'll even touch on the kickers a little bit, but that doesn't matter as much. But let's go ahead and start on the offensive side of the ball. We're going to start with the best and most obvious one that people will be wanting to know, which is the quarterback position. So this year, set feet lead or pass lead elite are the two abilities that you must have on your quarterback. It's not both. Okay, that sounded like it meant both, but it's one or the other. Whichever one your quarterback gets for a a discounted amount is the one you're gonna want to go ahead and rock. In reality, one isn't better than the other. They both do the same thing. So set feet lead or pass lead elite are essentials on your quarterback. Then fearless is one that you could do for sure. Hot Route Master is another one that is also really good to do. It's a little bit more for like the advanced players if you are able to set up more advanced plays and understand, or if that's part of your game. I wouldn't say it's a more advanced players. I would be like, if that's part of your game and there's certain hot routes that you need on your plays to make the plays that you like to run, then that's for you. I can, run my offense without using Hot Route Master. It's a little bit more AP than using Fearless on most quarterbacks, unless you have, like, let's say Brady, for example, the Scrambler Edition. Then that's when Hot Route Master will be discounted. But I personally like running Fearless, especially with under pressures, going against under pressures. You don't see them as much nowadays, but even if you are under pressure, forget there being under pressures, you are under pressure, Fearless is super duper good, and I love it so much. Then at your X Factor, I like running Bazooka. You can go ahead and run Omaha if you want to go ahead and see the person's plays, but I like Bazooka. Getting that 15 extra yards throwing is super duper important, in my opinion, for the way I play Madden. Now going over the running back position. Okay, so this one, it's really not that important to have many different AP. I run one AP running back apprentice on my running back because he gets that 4 additional hot routes, and I don't want to run hot route master. So I like having the 4 different running back hot routes on my guy, putting in like a Texas route, something like that, a flat route, stuff like that. Those are really, really good and a huge part of the way I play offense. So that's why I have running back apprentice. Jukebox, not important. You can backfield mismatch is okay if you want to run that. Spin cycle, jukebox, all these other things aren't really that important or an essential or going to set you apart from the other players you're going to be playing. So in reality, running back abilities aren't that crazy or important, and there aren't really any specifically that you should be running on your quarterback, except for maybe running back apprentice if you don't have Hot Route Master. Now coming over the wide receivers, these are the most important positions to be having abilities on besides your quarterback. Short out elite is now becoming meta a little bit because of this Tyreek Hill, along with some other guys getting that improved ability to get off the line on outside routes, outside breaking routes. Super duper important. So short or in out elite are the best abilities to have on your wide receiver by far, in my opinion. Route tech is also super duper good, and because this Tyreek Hill gets 1 AP, that's really good as well. You can run like wide receiver app if you want to, but you must have a short in or short out elite ability on your wide receivers if you want to compete at a high level. As far as X factors go, that doesn't really matter. You can run like double me or something like that, but besides that, nothing crazy. On your left and right tackle, moving over to this side of the ball. By the way, for wide receivers, tight ends, it's the same thing. Short in out elite. If you want to run a tight end app, you can. Otherwise, short in or short out elite on your tight ends as well is very, very important. Moving over to the left and right tackles, edge protector is a must-have this year, especially if people are running edge threats. It's not as common because of how many people run edge protectors, but if you have an edge protector, it's going to help you out a lot. I don't get beat by edge threats at all. It's very rare. There are already a lot of glitch blitzes that are going to go ahead and negate blocking and stuff like that anyways, so you have to be aware of that. But edge protectors, for the people who don't have these crazy blitzes, even if they do, they will still help you out a lot for whatever person they are engaged with. It'll help set the edge way better. So left to right tackle, that's what I recommend. No other abilities I would say you really need at that position. Coming over the center position, I identifier along with secure protector. The main reason I run secure protector on my center is because of how, for some reason, my center seems to get bull rushed by D tackles very easily. So I put secure protector on him. It's only 1 AP. It works out really well. He also gets 0 AP identifier, which is super nice. You get to see which guy the guy you're playing against is usering. That way you kind of have an idea of maybe which side of the field you should be throwing to. Maybe you can catch him on a D tackle or someone you didn't want to be using, stuff like that. That's why identifier is important, in my opinion. If you have a 0 AP, I'd say it's worth it. If it's 1 to 2 AP, I would say it's a little bit less worth it. If you have the AP to spend, then go ahead and do it. Secure protectors are good though. And then for the right guard and the left guard, I would say having a secure protector also is good, but mainly post-ups is what you're going to want to go ahead and run at your right and left guard position. Same thing, if you have a discounted identifier in those positions, you can go ahead and do that. But otherwise, I would say a post-up is what you want at the right and left guard position. Center, I like secure protector because there's a lot of times where he is a 1-on-1 situation, and post-up is only for a 2 double teaming somebody. So your right guard could be engaged with the double team on the outside with the right tackle or left tackle, depending on which guard it is, and then he could also be engaged in a double team with the center a lot of the time. So that's why post-ups are really good on your left and right guard. Now moving over to the defensive side of the ball, we're going to go ahead and start with our cornerbacks. So right now, zone is the meta. So deep out zone KO or mid zone KO, short zone KO, flat zone KO, stuff like that are what you should be running on your cornerbacks right now. Same with safeties. I'm not going to go over safety abilities because corners and safeties are the same exact, in my opinion, on what you should be running. If you get a free, like let's say acrobat or something, or discounted, that might be worth it if you want to do that. In an outside shade, not very worth it in my opinion. But definitely a deep out, any type of zone KO. It all depends on where the guys played on your field. For example, Champ Bailey plays out on my outsides, so he's gonna be in a lot of deep zones a lot of the times, in a deep third, cover 3, stuff like that. So that's why I run deep zone KO on him. And then if they're in the middle, like a slot corner, maybe you want to run mid zone KO, something like that. Someone who's not going to be very deep all the time, maybe even a short zone KO if you're going to have them in a flat a lot, is what I would say. Moving over to the D tackle position now, I would say inside stuff is a necessity. That or goal line stuff. Double or nothing is okay if you want to go ahead and run that. All these other ones aren't necessities. Under pressure, if you have like a free under pressure on Warren Sapp, I would say that's amazing. Under pressures are super duper good. Free AP on Warren, I think it's 0 AP under pressure on Warren Sapp is a must. No outsiders, no reason to run that. So inside stuff or under pressure is what I would be running at my D tackle, even goal line stuff like I had said. Then going over to right left ends, this also applies to your right and left outside linebackers because those are the guys who are going to be rushing the passer. I would say running something like no outsiders, edge threat, or under pressure is what you should be running. Besides no outsiders or edge threat and under pressure, I would say there's not really any abilities that I would say are important to be running or a necessity. No reason to run inside stuff or anything like that. Maybe if you want to put them at a D tackle position, right? But forget what their position in their card says. Where they're going to be playing on the field is what I'm basing their abilities off of, okay? So just keep that in mind as we go along. So under pressure, anywhere on your D line, including your outside linebackers, is super duper important, I would say. If they don't get it, using something like an inside stuff on your D tackle spot. Outside rushers, I'd say an edge threat or no outsiders for running the ball are also very important as well. A lot of the time you might not need edge threat because you can set up some blitzes for guys that go on blocks, stuff like that. So the edge threat ability isn't that much of a necessity. Coming over to the middle linebacker spot, this is the last position I'm going to touch on for the defense. If you're going to have your middle linebackers on the field, I don't ever have a middle linebacker on my field, but if you like running linebackers on the field, if they're going to be, so like I talked about the outside and inside guys, if those guys are going to be in coverage a lot and you're not going to be blitzing them, then I would say you need to run a lurker on them 100%. You need a lurker, then they'll play like a safety. or a cornerback, they'll get those better animations to go up and jump and catch the ball instead of it just being right at their chest. So that way they'll animate stuff like that. So you need a lurker on your middle or outside linebackers if they're going to be in coverage and not blitzing all of the time. But for the most part, I don't ever have middle linebackers on the field, so the AP is not that important to have there. The main reason I do have it there is on my middle linebackers because I'm able to spend it on them because of the way I have my defense set up, especially having this 0 AP on my left end comes up clutch a lot. Then moving over to the kickers and punters, we'll quickly look over these. He doesn't get anything, but they have ice kicker ability where you can't get ice. Then they have the slow beating kicker, which makes the meter slower, but it only works in the first half. So that's why those aren't as important, I would say, because they don't really work past the first half. And if you're going to be getting ice kicks, it's usually going to be in the second half. Same with the slower kick meter. That's probably going to come in more crucial in the second half. So this year for kickers and punters, the abilities are kind of you know what I mean? So let's go ahead and take a look at punter and kicker. Precision kicker grants full vision on the kicking arc. That's actually pretty clutch, I would say, but not many people are punting at this point in the year. Immunity to the ice kicker effect, he's not going to be kicking, he's a punter, but that's one you could be running on your kicker. Like I said though, it doesn't really work in the second half. Focus kicker, that's gonna be the slower kick meter, and then Zen kicker, slower kick meter for all kicks over 45 yards. So that's the different abilities you could be running on punter and kicker, but like I said, they're not as crucial because they're kind of glitched this year. So I would say just keep that in mind. So overall, those are all the abilities I would say you need to be running at each position inside of Madden 23 Ultimate Team. If you guys have any questions or anything, please comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Any other questions you have, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.
S1, I was the best one. You thinking way back, you should've kept them. You always question all of my methods. I try to hold you down, I just want you around. I swear that you don't check your phone. I be pulling in the coupe on my own. You can catch me in the sweater V-Long, and I'm still on the throne. Thanks to you, now I'm gone. But I'll still be at the function till 3. We be going back and forth 3-peat. I stay dripping, baby, you don't know me, but that's all you see, now that's all you see now. S1, I was the best one. You thinking way back, you should've kept them. You always question all of my methods. I try to hold you down, I just want you around. Found myself reading your text. You remind me of my ex. Remember times that we shared. Girl, you so stuck in the past. Got you